Hey guys, my name's Todd. I'm really into vibe coding, context engineering, and something I'm calling AI enablement of product owners. And I've been creating this app for the past couple days, and I really want to show you guys some of the cool stuff I'm learning. This is supposed to be, this will hopefully become a 4 video sequence where I define it, do the UX, then the backend, and integration and testing. This video is going to be hopefully a 5 minute or less video on the UX, and I'm just super excited about how it's shaping up. To tell you a little bit about the project, a buddy of mine called me last week and he said, Todd, will you make me a WhatsApp communicator? Where we're basically taking some of the experiences you might have in Gmail priority inbox or apps like Superhuman that extend that add more capacity to Gmail and make that available for WhatsApp. There's some challenges there where WhatsApp doesn't always expose their APIs, so you have to do some reverse engineering. We'll get into that in the back end video. But I want to make a quick video just showing you guys how quickly I was able to make this UX. I built this, it took me more time to make this video than it did the UX. And a lot of that was because of the technology that I used, which came down to this thing called BMAD and Playwright. Before I jump into that, I want to show you what this UX looks like because I think it speaks for itself. I mean, you guys, you tell me, but when I got this thing, I 3 agent calls and it prompted me to make this video because I was like, wow. I mean, take a look at this. 3 agent calls, roughly, not exaggerating, 2 hours from start to this. And I thought like having a full user experience where you can, you know, I mean, I'm going to let it speak for itself. I'm not going to talk through it. I think we all can just kind of get a sense of how this works. But the idea here is just to have something basic, iterate, to have a UX from 0 to this in 2 hours was pretty amazing, and that's why I'm making this video. I did it in 2 versions. This was the first version. This was the second version. And again, the secret to that was honestly the methodology and the technology that I use, which is really what I want to make sure to jump into next. So let me give me a minute. I am new to this OBS stuff. I have to pause and regroup my thoughts. So let me press that pause button. So as I was saying here, the core to this whole thing is really the technology and the methodology. How I use that technology is how I was able to do this so quickly. So the technology, there's 2 pieces for this particular task. One was Playwright MCP. What that does is it gives the agent it gives the agent access to your browser, so it can go in, it can do it can inspect, open up the developer mode, inspect, read through the DOM, read through the HTML, read through the JavaScript, and it gives access to the agent to essentially hijack your browser. And the other is the one that I'm really going to focus on because I think it's the most interesting technology that I have come across in quite a while, and it's called BMAD. Okay. So trying to explain what BMAD is, I'm just gonna it's a whole thing. Check this guy out, Brian. Not the best photo of you. Sorry to freeze frame on that. It is amazing. It's hitting Reddit by storm. It is a whole thing. Just Google BMAD, but the essence of it in a nutshell. If I was to nutshell this thing, what I'd say it is a collection of commands and agents that basically superpower whatever your agent is, whether that's Codex, Cursor, Playwright. It's a set of commands and prompts and files that just basically take it to the next level. I'm going to give you guys a bit of an idea, a bit about how that works. So one of the things here is it does. So let me gather my thoughts. One sec. So guys, we'll jump into Cursor and take a look at it briefly, but conceptually, what it really does is it basically puts a team of agents that have been trained for agile development at your fingertips. Okay, so for instance, in this case, and there's more agents, but you work with a scrum master, a developer, a test architect, and a UX designer, and these guys work as a team to go through basically this process where we first of all, I found a site that I wanted to copy. That was to base the UI on, and there was some thought on that, by the way, which I think it's important the sites that we choose. I've made sure it was using technology that I knew to work well with AI, namely Shad UI. But so there is something to which sites we choose. But besides that, I gave them a very high level prompt. I said, guys, take this site, break it down, build it locally. And then once we have that site built, afterwards, I'll give you some feedback and we can adjust it. And I am not a spring chicken with AI. what amazed me is that it worked. Okay, and now these guys come together, they build a plan. Okay, they do this whole planning thing, and that plan I'll show you in a minute in Cursor, but it's a really considered plan that takes the planning that these guys do is stellar. Okay, but then they pass the plan to the dev. You can call that a ticket, and the developer builds it. But then what's interesting, right? The developer builds it, but he goes back and forth with the tester to make sure that it actually works. Anyone who's built anything in AI knows all the time, the agent is saying, okay, ready to work, and you go and it's 404 or it's throwing some error. That doesn't happen with this system because there's an agent, there's a built-in test architect who's going to validate everything the developer does, and they're going to go back and forth until it passes the acceptance criteria. So this back and forth is huge. There's also this guy, Sally, who's a UX designer who adds a lot of value, but I'm not going to get into that in this video. But let's just say for right now, these guys are working as a team and there's a lot of back and forth. They make the plan, then they build it. I give them feedback and they rebuilt it. And that whole thing, all this happened in an hour and a half, and only through 2 iterations. I literally gave this to them, went for a jog, came back, and saw exactly what you guys saw here. And I was just felt like I needed to make a video, gave them the one set of feedback, and I got this. So just to show a little bit about behind the scenes here, look, guys, the BMAD method is thousands, if not tens of thousands of lines of code. When you download this prompt framework, you can, I'm still like there is a ton of complexity that will not only, it will sort of redefine how you think prompt engineering works. The way they build these prompts through XML in itself could be a whole series of videos. But I'm not going to get into this. What I'm going to get into is just how they executed this one task. So a big part of the BMAD methodology that makes complete sense is that every new conversation with an agent starts with a clear screen and starts with loading some context from a previous conversation. So I actually have here, each of these is different kind of conversations that I have with the agent. And these all start with loading in the conversation. This starts with loading in essentially tickets. Now, I didn't save all of this for posterity. I don't think Claude Code even saves conversation history. But the first step of this was putting together a plan. And guys, just take a look at how much thought went into this plan. Okay, the thing that's so interesting here. I mean, so they've spent a lot of time. I didn't read every line of this. I just kind of was like, I read the first bit of it to create the routes, navigation components, and I was like, you know what? Let's just see what they do and see if it works, and I'll come back and I'll read it later. But they give you. They always start with a user story. They give you reference materials. These were some of the screenshots that they took of the thing that I was trying to copy. I mean, the whole thing is just very immaculate. That's a little bit, like most things in AI, maybe it's a little bloated, but for me, and some people disagree with this, if it works, I'm happy. And I think the level of deliberateness here is very good. But what I think is really interesting, so they pass this, they create this ticket collaboratively in this whole group chat that you can see here. Okay, I'm not going to walk through this. It would take too much time. They all are kind of talking back and forth with each other, making a ticket. But then after the ticket's actually built, they pass it to one of these guys over here, and then he starts building it and giving notes. Okay, so they're building it and giving notes, and if they run into issues, okay, they ran into an issue here, they're noting it, which is really helpful because some of these issues that they run into. First of all, whether the developer finds it or after he's done, he passes it to the QA guy and then they find it. But eventually, they're showing all their work immaculately as they move forward. Now, some of this information I actually pull out after I do a ticket and I make an appendix for a knowledge base of things to learn for the future, which could be a whole separate video. But the level of just deliberateness of how these people work together as a team, it's hard to really communicate how exciting it is when you see it in one. I know we're over time here, but hopefully I have maybe inspired you to at least take a look at this BMAD method. It really works. No one paid me to write this. I'm just sharing it from a genuine place of enthusiasm and wanting to, I don't know, share the love with the world. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, everybody. Take care.